What's up, guys? Welcome back to Casually KANE9. I'm Casey.
And I'm Kate.
And we are officially the fifth most popular animal podcast in Denmark.
Denmark! Yes. Number 5.
Number 5.
If you're not first, you're last.
There were a couple other countries that I got some statistics on, but Denmark was the highest.
All right. Denmark. Thank you, Denmark.
Thank you, Denmark. Denmark's in Europe. Did you know that?
Actually, yeah, I think I did. I don't know for sure, to be honest.
Try to act like you didn't.
Well, like, it sounds like
try to act like you did, but you didn't.
It sounds like a place in Europe.
It is.
Yeah.
So I feel like we always start these things by doing kind of a week recap.
Oh.
It's been a great week here.
Yeah. Guys, before we start this is what I hear in the kitchen as I'm making my latte, preparing for this. Hello, New York, New York, New York.
No. You're not giving any context.
He's sound checking for the podcast, but I'm like, why New York?
Sound checking into the microphones.
Yeah, and then listen to how he talks though too. He's like, "All right, hallelujah." I'm like, literally. And then he sat down this time. He's like, "Clubbing, yeah, clubbing." And I'm literally sitting here thinking, if this is your sound check, the microphones clearly are working, but it's also like, you're not talking like that. What's up, guys? I have to pick on you at least 6 times per podcast. Otherwise, we'd be letting everyone down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I also pick on you.
Yep.
So.
It's all from love. Okay, tell me about your week.
Yeah, it was a great week. We had a couple shadowing students here. It was a really fun group of people. And I don't know, I just felt like you were really in the groove when you were teaching.
It's a good crew of dogs.
It's a good crew of dogs. A lot of things were clicking very well. Not that they don't click well all the time, but like it was just like, it was fun to see. I did a lot of filming. I got a lot of footage. And I'm excited about that footage
I'm sure it's like teachers
make some things out of it.
Can probably relate to. It's like, it's a new school year. Obviously, it's much longer than a program when we have the dogs. But there's probably groups of kids that's like, oh, this group of kids just meshes really well together. The dynamics are great. And they probably get others where they still like those kids and they still do well. But they're like, this crew just doesn't vibe as well all together. There's a lot of different dynamics. That's a lot of the times like when the whole crew vibes together. And like balances each other out, that's like chef's kiss for me, because the dogs and I will work great one-on-one. But when you can have a nice energy with all of the dogs, even though this crew, they're all so different, and it's a smaller group, which is great because this week, super excited. This is the thing that's a little bit hard, is you're always listening to this like a week and a half after we're talking about it. So at this point, we will have an expansion of our fence. Casey is doing that this week. So I'm doing all of the dog stuff. Casey's going to be expanding our fence. I kind of I've had this idea for a while. It's not just because I want a bigger fence. It's because I want to have an additional like thing for the dogs. And what it's going to be is it's going to go out into our woods more, and we're going to keep it feeling like a woodsy vibe within the extension. And then we're going to have a short fence. So it basically is going to be a 2-part fence. So our social yard, potty yard with our pea gravel and stuff like that will stay how it is. And the extension will be like trees, and we're going to put sod in, and maybe get like a cute little picnic table or something like that. That's going to be more of like your hang. I can pop some of the boarding dogs over there while I'm doing some social work with the training. So I'm excited about that. I think the dogs will love it.
Yeah, I get to play contractor this week.
You love that.
I do. It's fun to do. Mm-hmm. So, and it's nice because we have a little bit less amount of dogs, so we can do that.
Yeah, like when I talk to other trainers and stuff on whether it's a virtual or when they come to shadow, it's crazy how different people do things, obviously, but also the volume of dogs that they bring in. Like our low number for the week is going to be 3 training dogs, which for some people is extremely low. I was talking to a trainer who does like 9 dogs by herself at a time. And
9 dogs max, right?
Yeah, like 6 to 9 though. Like 6 is still like, I think about when we have 4 or 5, even when I have some hands-on help, I'm like, I feel overwhelmed.
There's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah. So like 3 is going to feel like a nice, almost like a break. But obviously it's not, but it's enjoyable. I wish we could do 3 all the time.
Goals.
Yes.
What else? What else happened this week?
Yeah, I mean, we were
very busy
with
yeah.
shadow students. You ask me and then you go to answer.
Sorry.
You literally go, yeah, what else happened this week? I go to answer.
Remember there's a camera on us.
Oh,
you can look at that camera.
I know, but I'm talking to you. It feels weird to look at the camera. Yeah, not a whole lot besides that, but it was a good week.
Yeah. Cool. Let's move into our main talking point. By the way, this talking point is brought to you by the first ever Kate's Takes submission. So shout out to a person named Caitlin that submitted this. Thank you, Caitlin. And the reason why I'm taking this into...
It's not me, Caitlin, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know what these are.
We did not submit these to ourselves.
Yeah. Hey, you can do that.
That'd be funny.
I'm going to go in there and make up a name and roast you, and then everyone will know it's from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't heard these, so Casey will just read them and I'll respond.
Yep. And in the future, if you guys want to participate in Kate's Takes, go to our podcast page on the website. There's a little form there. Fill that out. It gets sent directly to me, and then I will bring it up in the podcast. But
let's do it.
The reason why I'm bringing this up into kind of our main portion is because it was on my list anyways. But Caitlin says, I would love to hear about how it was for Kate starting her business. How long was it before it really took off? Were you offering in-home or privates? And advice or tips for someone who has recently started their own?
Oh, sure.
So a lot of like origin stuff, building this up from the bottom.
Yeah. So I think I've slightly touched on it when we first were talking about, wasn't it on one of the podcasts we kind of talked about how KANE9 started up?
A little bit, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it kind of got brought up when we were talking about the transition of your full-time job and how I also came from that. But so I started KANE9 very much on a part-time basis. I was still working a full-time job, and I was just doing private sessions for owners and their dogs on a very minimal basis. Fast forward to taking KANE9 full time, we lived out in Maine for 10 months for a job opportunity that Casey had. And I knew that coming back to Wisconsin, I eventually wanted to take KANE9 full time. I had done a couple of minimal board and trains out in Maine when we were there, tons of private sessions, pretty much any day after work and on our weekends, I was doing private sessions with owners, which taught me so much. I really enjoyed them at that time. And this setup that I did, which I really liked, is the owner would bring their dog, drop them off with me for about 30 to 45 minutes, just so the dog and I could kind of get working together. And then the owner would come back and we would work for the remainder 45 minutes because they were hour-and-a-half sessions and they would be on their way. So when we moved to... What, can you see her?
She's in the shot.
Oh my gosh.
If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see off to your lower right. Oh, she's on the table.
She's fine.
Excuse you.
She's okay.
Yeah,
you stay right there.
Stay right there.
Thanks for interrupting, Ducky.
Check out our cat, guys.
Oh my gosh.
She's so pretty.
Okay. So anyways, Kate's Take.
Yep.
Back to this. So when we moved back from Maine, I knew that I wanted to eventually take KANE9 full time. And I basically had 2 dogs on the schedule for a board and train and quit my full-time job. So
2 dogs only.
Yeah, only 2 dogs on the schedule. Super scary, super overwhelming. The biggest thing that we took into consideration is, okay, Casey has a job. How long could we go for me to try building a business with basically, we're calling it on one income. That's the way that we wanted to look at this, is we're going to live within our means of Casey's sole income. So obviously this looks different if you're on your own doing this, but that doesn't mean that there's going to ever be a moment where it feels super comfy to make that jump and make that leap. So I am not lying when I say this. I have never had since those 2 dogs and I quit, a moment that it's like, we don't have any dogs. We don't have any applications. Of course, that's not me saying that they're just like flying in all of the time. Like there are moments sometimes where it's like, oh wait, we haven't seen an application in like a week. That's kind of weird. But everything always ends up working out. And it's really
But
cool
then in some other weeks, we'll get 5 in a week.
Right, but I'm talking about more like back then.
Oh, right.
Is she just like completely in front of me?
Okay, you need to go on.
No, she's in front of you.
No.
Oh my gosh. Hold on.
Hold on.
Intermission. There's a cat on the laptop. Okay. So the biggest thing for me was obviously knowing that there's clearly risk involved. But when I first started, I was still offering private sessions, board and trains. I started offering what I called train and play days, which was graduates coming back for basically daycare. I was doing a little bit of everything to make it happen. So now we only do board and trains or like virtual owner coaching sessions. And now I'm doing more of like education for other trainers and stuff like that through a shadow. But it really was a matter of, I need to just call it at one point and take that leap and know that if for some reason things were not working out the way I intended, there's always other options. There's always other jobs that you can have. There's always other things that you can do to make it work.
But if there's a will, there's a way, and you found a way. I mean, that's
Sorry, I'm geeking out that she just said that.
But it's true. It is because you made it
such a Casey thing.
You made it happen, though. I mean, I know you're like geeking out at me about saying
when
that.
There's a will, there's a way.
But it's true.
It's true. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is like I didn't give up on myself.
And I know, yes, definitely. But I know like you don't like me saying like grind every day, but like you did. You put in a ton of hard work of like, I'm going to make this work and there's no other option. I'm going to make it work.
Yeah.
There was no like, I know in your head, you're like, I could fall back on something else, but like take that out of the picture. You're going to make this work.
Yeah. That's how my brain works. And I really didn't doubt myself. I doubt myself in moments and I was like, oh gosh, what am I doing? But like, I knew that there was owners and dogs and plenty to go around that need help. And I knew that I was bringing something to the table that could help people. And I truly had to believe in that before I could expect anyone else to believe in me. So I just kept truly showing up, like posting when it felt uncomfortable to post, taking video when it felt uncomfortable to take video. And I didn't do like, I'll get questions too of like, did you do paid advertising and stuff like that? No, but that doesn't mean that that's not the route that some people go and have great success with, but it's not something that I did. Can you give me the other portion of that question just so I don't forget?
The other portion, there's 2 more portions. How long was it before it really took off? So we kind of talked about that. You've been busy ever since the beginning.
Yeah. When it started feeling like really overwhelming was probably about like 8 months into doing K9 full time, because every single time an application would come in, I was ecstatic. And so I would just book them back to back to back, and not taking any time off. And I really do not recommend doing that. The burnout is so real. Mm-hmm. So at least taking like a couple of days off, in between crews is highly, highly recommended. But that's pretty much it. Built really quickly.
Yeah.
It really did.
And I think you answered this, only offering in homes or privates. You were doing a combination of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. You were doing board and trains, private sessions, the train and play days.
Mm-hmm. I would do some where I would even go to people's houses versus just having them come to me. I feel very comfortable now. I really like that we've streamlined it, but I wouldn't change doing those things because a lot of my private sessions turned into board and trains. I'd have a lot of people that then were like, okay, well, I love what I got with the privates, but I love seeing what you're doing with the board and train dogs. Like, can my dog do a board and train? So that really built my board and train business as well. And there was just some dogs that I really, really recommended the owners needing a board and train. So that's where you have to create a relationship with your owners where they trust what recommendation you give them. So I never made it seem like I want this owner to do a board and train because I wanted to make more money off of that owner, because realistically, that is not the truth. If you calculate how much a trainer makes in a day on a board and train for a dog, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, they could make way more money doing like 10 privates in a day and not having that dog in their setting. So for me, it was like, I know this will be in this dog and this owner's best interest if they do a board and train. And I feel as if we just do private sessions, I won't be able to get them to the point where I know we could get from a board and train perspective because of either the level that their dog was at, their lifestyle with their dog. So really create those relationships and with all of the content you put out to make it so that people trust you when you give them your recommendation.
Yeah. Lastly, advice or tips for someone who has recently started their own.
This one I could talk about all day. Keep showing up only as you, and people aren't going to like it. Then there's going to be people that are going to love it. To this day, I have gotten more confident for sure, but I have been the same person from a standpoint of true to me since day one. And I've grown and I've changed a lot. So that doesn't mean that I'm the same person I was when I started K9, but I was still true to showing up as who I was, what I believed in, and what was important to me as an individual, but also for the owners that I work with. And I think my authenticity is something that attracts the right people. And it's not going to also always be people's favorite quality of me. And that's okay, because I'm not here to run a popularity contest. I'm here to show up as me, be true to myself, and really show up for the owners and the dogs that I work with. So literally do not be someone that you think others want you to be. Just be yourself, because that is enough. And that does mean you can change. That means that you can add different things into your training. You can change the way you train. You are only supposed to be like showing up in a way that feels really good to you, and you'll attract the right people when you do that. So for me, that's my number one recommendation for all trainers, is being you. The business stuff, that you'll figure out as you go. Like, there's still things that it's like, we have to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll figure it out. But the one thing that I can't change, and the one thing that I can't take back, is showing up as someone other than myself, because that's something I won't do. Like, I'm going to only be Kate, and Kate at the seasons of life that she's in, and that can change as well. But it's so crucial, I feel like, because you don't want to lose yourself in something that you're trying to create when we're in a service industry, especially. You are the magic behind your business. You are what is going to connect your owners with you on a deeper level. So that is my number one recommendation. And the other thing is taking time off. Do not just like drown yourself. It's so important. And knowing that
that time off is great for reflection too, based on like what you were encountering and like how you need to adjust and evolve. Like, that's something that you've learned to do, we've learned to do, is like take those experiences, figure out what we liked and didn't like, and move forward.
Yeah, for sure.
But we found the time to do that though when we had taken time off, because I find that like when we're taking time off, even though we're not actively talking about what K9 is every single day, we'll find like a little thing about, I think I'd like to change this moving forward. We'll just kind of have a little conversation about it, and then we'll move on with our day. But
yeah,
that's been super important, I think.
Yeah. The other thing is really making sure that you kind of create this, again, relationship with the owners that you're working with, that this is a joint relationship you're getting into, not just someone paying you, hiring you to work with their dog. Yes, of course, that is a huge component of it. Like, a client is paying you to train their dog, but it's so much more than that. It has to be, mutual respect, and really making sure that it's a journey for everyone, not just, hey, I'm dropping off my dog, I better be showing up and picking up a fixed dog. No, that is not the type of people that you want to work with. You want to work with people that are excited to learn and excited to work with their dog even more when they bring them home or in a privates, like that actually want to go and apply what you guys are working on. I don't encourage people to work with owners that just make them feel like less than or super entitled people that potentially would like belittle you. Again, you're not always going to work with A+ owners. I gotta say most of ours are now. Like, of course there's always human dynamics, but I'm so proud of the people that we work with because they are just ready to do the best that they possibly can for them and their dog. And they know that this is a head start to things. So really making sure that you have your own back, because it can be super overwhelming, especially when you're dealing with someone's living being. Like, this is their family member. So it's a really like intimate relationship you're getting into if you think about it. So really have your own back. Make sure you're working with people that make you feel like you want to keep going, not just the dogs. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, I like to work with this kind of dog. What's their owner like? That's like my first and foremost thing that I look at in any application is like, how can I tell how the owner is speaking about their life with their dog, what their goals are? All of that is way more important than what the dog is doing. Of course, that's important too, but it's really the owner dynamic that is so crucial. So make sure that that is a big focus for you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Okay. My number one fan right here. Watch, people are like skipping 30 seconds ahead. Like, let's get to the would you rathers. Meanwhile, Casey, hell yeah, that was awesome. Don't you get sick of hearing me
such
talk?
A badass.
Oh, thanks, hon. Don't you ever get sick of hearing me talk?
No, not really. Not really.
I have to. Okay, that'll be my highlight of the week. Never mind.
Okay.
Remind me.
Do you have any ambush questions for me?
I don't have any ambush questions, but I do have a would you rather for you.
Okay.
Oh, one question that someone asked, and this isn't an ambush. What dog breed would Kate be? Take a second to think about that, but someone wanted to know what you would.
What dog breed would Caitlin be?
I know what I would pick for you.
I think you've already said this to me.
I've changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I won't know this one. Mm-hmm. I would say maybe like a.
I'm nervous.
I don't know, it's so hard.
I'm nervous.
It's so hard because.
You can, if you want to pick, because I know like we work also with so many mixes.
Yeah.
So like, is there like a dog that we've trained that you're like, this reminds me of Kate?
I mean,
I have one in my head.
I love. This isn't about me. This is about you. This is also a dog breed that I love. I like little healers, and I think that you would be a healer because they are a little bit sassy.
I could be a healer. I never thought about that.
They can be a little bit sassy.
Okay, you like.
They're go-getters.
You love Chloe.
And Chloe's here, and Chloe's
if
my
Chloe's
fave.
parents are listening to this, Casey's like,
yeah, shout out to Chloe and her parents.
Literally,
awesome.
They're like,
we love Chloe.
Casey always goes, yeah, just so you know, like if this is ever a dog that like their owners choose to rehome, like we'll make it work. Like we can make it work. Meanwhile, he's that hard no 3 dogs, which I am too, but like he would make it work if it meant it was Chloe.
There would be an exception for a dog like Chloe. There would be an exception, but I would have to say something like that.
Okay,
I feel like
that's not what I thought you were gonna say, but I think that's pretty accurate.
Another dog breed you would maybe more like a working class.
Working class.
Yeah.
You mean working line.
Working line.
Working class.
Working line dog, because I feel like you want to get going.
Well, a healer is.
Yeah,
but
well, I'm talking about like maybe like a.
I'm a little lazier.
You want to be like a Belgian Malinois or?
Hell no, I am not that
Shepherd.
Really, that's just not.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Oh no, I thought I would be like a Dottie, who's like pushy, opportunistic.
Yeah, no,
sassy.
sorry, I don't see you.
Really? Oh, bummer. But also like really loves naps. I don't really nap, but like I love sleeping.
We don't nap that much.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take a healer. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I used to always call you the golden retriever.
Yep.
But again, I love golden retrievers, but they get this like they're perfect type of, or like they're just so nice and
some
docile.
of them, guys. Not every single one, but
that's like what everyone knows is that the happy-go-lucky, friendly golden retriever.
Right.
And I just have experienced quite a few that aren't like that. But I think that you would be a Vizsla. Because from my...
Hell yeah. Aren't those dogs Swedish?
I don't know.
They're like Swedish hunting dogs or something like that.
Can I explain why?
I gotta look this up now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So from the ones that I've had experience with, they're very like sweet, kind of docile, but then super, super like eager to do things. And you are definitely like a acts of service type of person. Like, you know, that's obviously one of my love languages, but also that is just how you are. Like, you like doing projects, you like being a go-getter, but you're also super like, what's the word that patient and like extremely methodical about your decision making. And every Vizsla I've interacted with, they're like not gonna impulsively make that decision, especially when it comes to like a relationship with a new person. I've had them be a little bit more of like they take time to kind of warm up, but then once you're in, you're in. So Vizsla for you.
That sounds awesome to me.
Yeah.
I need to make a correction. This is based on Wikipedia.
Actual dog people listening to this are going to be like, you idiots.
Dog breed from Hungary and belongs to the Federation.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Cynologique International.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I'm a healer. You're a Vizsla.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never heard you refer to me as a Vizsla before, but
I literally was thinking
that
about
sounds
it
cool.
When someone asked me what, like this question of what dog breed would Kate be. I literally was like, okay, well then I know Casey's going to want to know what dog breed he would be. And so I thought about it for a second and that's what I came up with.
Yeah. Do you have something else?
I have one just would you rather question.
Okay, let's do it.
Would you rather always have really bad gas or a super dry mouth?
Dry mouth for sure.
Really?
Oh my God. Can you imagine if you had super bad gas, nobody would be able to be around you.
That's true. So you'd rather just live in misery with a dry mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
people pleaser, you guys. This is Casey. Like,
honestly, though, like, who wants to be around somebody who smells like a bag of shit? I mean, who?
Well, I had to be around someone that smelled like a bag of shit.
This is my story.
This is my van trip, you guys. I didn't even know he was going to bring this up.
Look at this. Look at it on my list.
What? Casey's smelling like shit in Colorado. Okay, so let's jump.
Do you want me to tell this or you?
I'm just going to jump into van life a little bit of like, and it also made me think about it when two of the girls that were here shadowing us last week were asking about like the bathroom situation, showering, if you're in the middle of the woods, like what do you do? And let me just tell you, there is nothing glamorous about me utilizing the restroom or like especially being a lady.
Let's give some like background into what our van looks like though, because there are plenty of vans that have
we don't have a bougie van.
Bathrooms in them and showers and stuff like that, but they tend to cost a lot more money than ones who don't. So we opted to get one that was more budget friendly, and therefore we use public restrooms.
We give up the toilets.
Yeah, we use public restrooms. There's no shower in our van. We do have running water. There's a sink in there. There's a kitchenette. There's plenty of storage, electricity, like all those things. We just don't have the toilet and the shower. So we do have an emergency kind of situation that we can use.
Guys, it's a 5-gallon bucket that a toilet seat gets put on.
We're like fancy roughing it.
It is, yeah, it's definitely roughing it. And I never grew up camping or anything like that. So that was a little bit of an adjustment, but you have to really like your person or the friend you're with if you're in a van, because
you're going to get close.
There is no privacy. There is no, because like if we were in the middle of nowhere or like dispersed camping and we weren't hitting up a gym where we could do a shower, or we weren't driving through somewhere where we're visiting a friend or a family member where we're typically like, hey, can we shower? you're going like multiple days without showering.
Multiple days potentially.
Yeah. Which like with hair and stuff like that for me is no problem. But like you want to freshen up the regions, if you will.
Yeah.
So like you live off of wipes.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to be doing like physical activity like hiking or, walking the dogs or doing some trails, stuff like that. You're gonna get stinky.
And sitting.
So
one day, I don't even know how it came up, but we're just like, gosh, it reeks in here.
No. Okay, hold on. So we spent a couple nights near Denver, Colorado, doing a couple private sessions, and our next leg of the trip was going to be going over the Colorado Rockies and making our way to Moab, Utah, which if you don't know where Moab, Utah is, it's along the eastern side of Utah. So we had about a 5.5 hour drive through a ton of mountains and hills to make our way over to Moab. I showered at my brother's place in Denver, and I was freshened up and ready to go. We started making our trek, and it was the second time taking the van through some mountain stuff, and I just get a little bit nervous going through those areas because you see cars and trucks broken down on the side of the road with like overheating issues and stuff like that. So I'm monitoring. I'm worried. I'm stressed about a lot of these things. As soon as we get over and we start descending down the western slope, it got insanely windy. Do you remember this?
Yes, I remember this.
So I think I was stress sweating.
I think you were stress sharding.
I realized we got to Moab and we started like moving around in the van, like getting the dogs going, and it stunk so bad. We're like, what the hell is that?
This is
smell?
Not just like, I literally think that maybe you went unconscious for a second because this was not just sweat. This was literally, it smelled like a rotten diaper in the van. And I'm like, oh my God,
so bad.
One of the dogs reeks. And I'm like, no, this cannot be. So the reason I found this out was Casey took off his joggers he was wearing to just like go into shorts. And we had this cabinet where like our clothes would touch, and he kept putting his stinky clothes next to my clean clothes. And I'm like, dude, move over, like move your stuff over. And I open the cabinet, I get a whiff of just diaper sewage, like terrible. And I'm
so bad
and
so embarrassing.
Literally,
I don't know why it smelled that bad.
Like, is that like you weren't even farting?
No.
Like I literally think there was just
no. I don't know what happened, but I
don't think you wiped well or something.
Oh my God. We had to go into a store and get some like more wipes, a different deodorant. Like we had to do some damage control.
Literally, I was like, let's just light these pants on fire. Like, let's just get rid of them. We ended up doing laundry, finally
in San Diego
or
near San Diego.
We literally needed to just put that stuff in a garbage bag because.
No, I think I did.
That's what I'm saying.
I had it in a separate garbage bag because it just.
It needed like a toxic warning label on it.
I don't know why it smelled that bad, but it was terrible. It was just.
It's bad when you admit it about yourself. Like you were like, "Oh my God!"
I was like, "What the actual F? Why does it smell this bad?" I know I could feel my armpits sweat no big time, and like there's probably other
pants,
there are probably other areas like smelling
doing some things.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Did we hit a big gust of wind and I
sharded?
I pooped a little? I don't know.
Just a little nugget came out.
But there would be some serious gusts of wind, guys, though, where it's like it felt like we were being hit in the van, and it's like, whoa, you got to grab the wheel and keep this thing on the road. And I take it very seriously because I have a lot of things that I love in the van.
Honestly,
my wife and my dogs, and like
seriously.
Anyways, so
yeah,
it was sometimes stressful
funny.
driving. Overall, it was really great. I did have that stinky situation.
Oh my gosh. Then there was another situation. This was in Utah where I'm like, okay, we're not in one of our dispersed camping areas in Utah. They had actually really nice, like who would think that you could have nice porta potties, but there was like really nice porta potties right by my our spot. So it was great. That worked out really well. We stayed there for 2 nights. Then another really cool spot in Utah, we stayed at, no bathrooms to be found. But it was really secluded. So I'm like,
that was an awesome spot.
I'm like, I'm just going to go to the bathroom outside because that's my option right now, or a bucket. And I'm like, I don't really want to go in this bucket that we're then going to have to figure out what to do with this bag that was in a bucket, if you know what I mean. So I'm like, Casey, can you just hold up this blanket while I use the bathroom, aka squat and pee? And literally at one point, I'm like, oh, watch your foot. And it's like sprinkling on your.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
Yeah. That's where it's like.
Some things aren't glamorous about it.
Yeah. So people probably see like our van stories and posts, which it really is so cool and so fun and so worth it. But there is some non-glamorous parts about it as well.
Yeah. I for the most part have had a really good time in the van. It's been such a good experience to be able to see parts of the country that you don't get to see when you're in a hotel in a city or something like that. It's been really fun. I'm looking forward to doing more of them. Can we do my video of the day where I play it in the microphone?
Gosh.
Or no, you need to watch it and play it in your microphone.
Someone was making fun of you about that. They're like, why is Casey playing videos when no one can see the videos?
I want you to watch them,
like,
and then they
Casey.
can just listen to them. Okay, start it over. Just click on that one.
Okay.
Come on. Oh, get gas. Straight.
Oh my gosh. Okay. See, this is the.
It's all right.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. After practicing for a year, this dad decided to take his son for his first test drive. They crash. The kid's glasses fly off his face. He goes,
Sorry. It's all right. It's no problem.
so once again, someone's being destructive. Someone's getting potentially hurt. Ooh, Casey, what happened to your phone?
For the first time ever, okay, hold on. I'm going to keep playing these videos and making you watch them and play them in the microphone because I think it's really funny. Just
you
so
do
know.
you.
Yep. My phone, I dropped it yesterday and cracked my phone screen for the first time in my life. And now
He's so upset about
I'm
it.
pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. You can see, I don't know if you can see it. You see the red
Yeah,
behind
what is that?
That's from the...
Is it blood?
It's cracked. No. It's cracked behind there. You see the crack?
Yeah, I see it.
I don't know why it's doing that on my screen, but it is.
Ugh. You know what I was thinking about
What?
the other day, especially after Lucy's go home? I am truly like a dog that needs door desensitization, and I'm like a reactive dog. And so are you.
Me too.
I've realized that. And it's like, I think a lot of human nature, we are. And I explained to like my owners, like reactivity doesn't always mean like exploding at something, but think about like when your phone goes off, or you're literally just happened right now. My watch just notified me of something and I looked at it immediately. That's a reactionary behavior, where it's like something happens and you respond to it.
You have that notification right on your wrist and you feel it probably vibrate when.
And it's like, I have to take it off after the quote unquote work day is done because it like causes me additional, like I feel like I have to check things right away.
Look at it immediately.
Yes. So something that happened during Lucy's go home, like nothing crazy. I think I like heard a noise, like maybe a car was coming from behind us or something like that. And I was immediately like, like, what's that? And I was thinking too, like with the door, did I talk about the Amazon delivery? I don't think that I did.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Did I talk about this? Oh, if I did, sorry if it's a repeat.
Remember.
So what really made me realize that I am a reactive dog, or a dog that needs door desensitization, is I was in the kitchen, and this was a while ago now. I don't even remember when. And
a couple weeks ago,
I see a car at like 6 p.m. pull into our driveway, and it was like a weekend day. And I'm like,
it pulled in hot to knew where it was going.
Yeah, it was coming to our house. And I was like, oh my God. And I go, Casey. He was downstairs. I'm like, there's someone here. There's someone in our driveway. There's someone here. And he's like, what?
And usually my reaction to you like upstairs asking me something is I'll kind of finish up what I'm doing and then I'll come up and whatever it is that you asked me to do or help you out
But I
with.
was panicked.
But she was panicked. I dropped everything that I was doing. I was on the computer downstairs working on some things, and I ran upstairs. And when this happens, like the dogs feel your energy and they start going like
what's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah. So then I'm immediately like, I don't know, Birdie was probably up doing something. And so I'm telling him to go to lay down just in case this person's coming up to the door. I literally, what goes on in my mind is it's either a murderer or a client, and those two are really big extremes. But if it was a client, then that means I had forgotten something. Like I missed something on the schedule, which I rarely ever do. So I would be like kicking myself if I did. And then I'm like, what murderer just pulls in at 6 p.m. when it's still light out? You know, so there had to have been a third option. Well, the third option was that it was an unmarked.
Which now I'm upstairs looking out the window.
As I'm freaking
Caitlin's
out.
downstairs with the dogs, like putting them in their kennels and stuff like that. And you're hiding downstairs. And I'm looking out of the front window going, it's Amazon.
Well, this lady comes in her white Chevy
It's a
sedan.
personal driver delivery.
Yes. So I didn't connect the dots that would be a delivery. So I literally am thinking about, you know, we expect our dogs to understand what's going on. Like, say you practice the doorbell or door stuff like once or twice. It's like, come on, people. Do not expect them to not be slightly impulsive if they have not had more practice than that. And also watch your energy. And I have to remind myself of that because I was immediately like, we're going down. Something's wrong. Something's off. I needed a place at that moment. I needed like someone to tell me we're good. Go lay down.
On a different occasion this past week, we were out eating lunch on our pergola, and we had a drop off that was going to be in like 15 minutes. Well, the drop off got there a little bit early, and I could see the car coming down the driveway. I had just taken like
a bite of your sub,
first bite of my sub, and I looked up and I saw the car come down and go, they're here.
He like stands up. He's like, they're here. I'm like, Casey, and we had one of our shadow students here. I'm like, we're good. Like they're here. They're early. I'm like, and I literally go, I'm like, you're like a reactive dog. Like they're here. They're here. You might as well have just started barking.
It would have been a bark if it was a dog.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm a reactive dog.
Oh my gosh. I think we all kind of are. Us humans have such high expectations for these dogs of ours, but we are equally as reactive and impulsive and all of the things.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Let's end this with our peeve and highlight of the week.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Sure. I'll start with my peeve.
Okay.
So my peeve this week is I cut my finger yesterday changing the oil on Caitlin's car, and also in the same spot 2 days earlier, I'll say I did this because this was my fault. Even though I had bad guidance.
What
so in the same exact spot, Birdie accidentally got my finger as I was trying to give her food from the table, a piece of my breakfast sausage. Was that on Wednesday or
I don't
something
know.
like that? And she got really excited, and Caitlin's like, just hold it and let her bite a portion off. Well, I've never really done that before, and now I remember why. Is that her eyes got really big when she could taste what it was, and she just started chomping, and she got my finger a little bit. So there's a little tiny cut on it.
Casey was so upset, you guys.
But it's
so mad.
It's right on the inside of my pointer finger, and so now it's like tender. And now I hit it yesterday, changing the oil too underneath your car, and it's in the same spot. Oof. So it's one of those things where it's just irritating
funny.
right now.
We kind of have similar peeves. My peeve is hitting your funny bone. There's nothing funny about it.
Did that happen?
Yes.
Oh.
I hit my funny bone so hard.
No, hitting your funny bone is not funny.
Not at all. So hard yesterday.
It's shockingly painful.
And of course it was also in the elbow. I know I'm a reactive dog. I'm just checked my watch again because it keeps going off. But in the same elbow, I think I have slight tendonitis. And so I sound like such a hypochondriac. Like 2 episodes ago, I'm complaining about my wrist, and now it's my elbow. But truly, it is. I've had it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I have another peeve.
Our neck kinks, too.
I have another peeve.
We both have like terrible neck kinks. I'm like, this is 30 because.
So you hit your funny bone?
Yeah, and it's just not funny. It's a huge pet peeve. And then do you also notice that you end up hitting it more frequently? Like, at least I do. I'll hit it, and then I'll be aware of it, and like, oh! And then I hit it again, like 2 hours later. It's like stubbing your toe when you've already stubbed it and it's already sore.
That is a
There's
big.
nothing worse.
That'll be a pet peeve of mine one day because I feel like I'm always hitting my body on something, running into something, stubbing my toe, hitting my shin on something. It's like, oh my God, that hurts so bad. And then then you do it again like a day later.
Yeah.
Another peeve is I freaking jacked up my neck like 2 days ago, and then I slept on it funny last night, and I feel like I need one of those like neck
Braces.
What's it called when you break your arm and you gotta? I feel like I need to get a whole neck cast.
Oh my gosh.
going down my shoulders and something just like just to keep me
like not dramatic at all. I need a full neck cast.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your highlight of the week?
Highlight of the week. I am very excited because I have some really fun ideas that just like got me going this week when I was like filming a bunch of K9 stuff.
Yeah,
and like I have some really fun ideas. I haven't even told you yet.
Okay, keep them a surprise.
About some really fun content ideas. You have an idea. You have some idea because I've been talking about doing this thing for a long time. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of a continuation of that in more of a style that I can't wait to see if it comes to life, like the way that I envision it.
Why did it make your highlight this week? Did you do something that's making it?
Yeah, I filmed a lot of stuff. So we got a brand new lens on the camera, something that we've been looking for, and now we have. And it just has me like thinking about a ton of different content ideas that I want to see come to life.
Cool. I like it.
That was what it was.
Cool. My highlight of the week was talking to my Uncle Kevin.
Yes.
So not to like lay super, super heavy stuff, but obviously this podcast is about real life things that we're going through. And my Uncle Kevin lives out in Rhode Island. My dad's only brother, unfortunately, has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And it's really bad. Like we don't have a lot longer with him. And hearing his voice was just like, ooh, I didn't think I would get emotional. He's just so positive, and like you wouldn't even know like that's his diagnosis. He's just like so happy to hear our voice, so happy to have his brother there, and my mom, his sister-in-law is just like, wow, this person just got the most terrible news, and he's still so happy about life. And like I don't know if I'd be like that. I feel like I'd be like a Debbie Downer and depressed, and I don't know. Like I obviously don't know if that's the case, but he's just one of the kindest people you will ever meet, and it's a terrible thing that's happening for him and our family. So I don't know why it's necessarily a highlight, but his voice made everything seem a bit more peaceful.
Yeah.
So
we did a group call with him and your sister and your mom and dad this week, and it was so good to hear his voice and talk with him a little bit. I was emotional on that call.
I held it together because I still had shadow students. So this is actually the first time I've cried about it. I think it's because I'm just like saying it out loud. But
it's really, really tough to see bad things happen to really good people. And it's just like, it just makes you like close your eyes and be like, why?
Well, it just makes you like super grateful for everything you do have. But it's just like he's never been given the easy route for anything in his life. Like he's always just had it harder than other people, where he's like a person that deserves it to be just like given to him on a golden platter. Like there's not that many people you can say that about too. Like I've never ever seen him be anything but like completely giving and loving and supportive to everyone in his life. So,
and I can speak
it's just sad.
and I can speak to even the first time I met Uncle Kevin, he was just so excited to meet me, and you guys had obviously been there and told him about me a couple times, and just your family, every single one of them has welcomed me with open arms throughout our whole relationship, and he was one of the first people that I think I met that was extended family, and just a good person.
Yeah. So it was just good to hear, him sound like him, because last time I saw him, it didn't feel like him, if that makes sense. You could tell it was before he had gotten the diagnosis, but I had said something to my parents of like, oh man, like Uncle Kevin seems like he's really slowed down, and he's not even that old, at 63 or 64. And so it was just good to hear him sound like him and sound clear-headed, and sound shockingly just thankful. And like,
he was just good
like,
old Uncle Kev.
It's just like, I don't know, it's just like more people need to be like Uncle Kev is what, you can say that about a lot of people, but
I don't know if I'd be the same way if I were given like,
that's what it's just like, I don't
that and an amount of time left on this earth, knowing that I'm not going to be here and after potentially that amount of time, and just being yourself.
I just, and still being like grateful for the little things, like having his TV so he can watch his Red Sox games and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know. So I'm obviously thankful I got to like hear his voice and, hear him happy, because that's what matters. But I'm also glad that my parents got what will probably be the last time them seeing him in person, because we live in Wisconsin, they live out in Rhode Island, and the prognosis is not good at all. I'm glad that their last in-person experience, potentially, obviously it's not in our hands, but was his humor, getting to experience him as him, because I can't imagine, like, I only have one sibling, but like leaving your sibling, whew. So
some heavy stuff.
My highlight turned into an emotional moment. So anyways, thanks guys. Sorry for going that route, but again, that's Casually K9.
It's real life.
This is real life, and I show up super, super positive majority of the time, because I really am. Like, I am, again, showing up as me. But, when you have a lot of, like, life stuff going on outside of just work and your business, you want to share that stuff, but you also, I'm not looking for, like, pity or anything like that. But we're all people. We all have a lot of things going on.
Just proves you never know what somebody else is experiencing on the surface.
Be kind. Like, be kind to people on the internet. Be kind to your neighbor. Be kind to your coworker who always seems like they're in a bad mood. Like, unless you don't know what people are going through. So we've all had our moments of not being kind. We've all had our moments of being judgmental. We all have our moments of not giving people the benefit of the doubt. But if we can try to be a little bit better with that, I think that this world would be a little bit of a happier place for everyone, because in our world, it really is a happy place, but it's not the same for everyone.
Yep. Agreed. Let's end this one.
All right. That sounds good.
Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yes.
We are so excited. This is our fifth podcast.
Yep.
And we're just excited to keep this thing going. We're loving all of your feedback, all of our followers. Go ahead and give us a 5-star review if you loved it.
Share it with your friends.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Again, if you do want to contribute to Kate's Takes, head over to our website, the podcast page. There's a little form there. Fill it out and give us your ideas.
Feel free to message me on Instagram if you want to send me any weird would you rathers, because I have fun with those.
Yeah, would you rathers or funny questions or whatever
I love
it is. So cool. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
Nailed it.